A toroidal planet is a hypothetical type of exoplanet with a distinctive donut shape. While no such planets have been observed, and the odds of their natural formation are likely incredibly small, the concept itself is not entirely implausible. Under certain conditions, a rotating mass in the form of a torus can achieve a balance between gravitational attraction and centrifugal force, potentially allowing for a stable configuration. This is somewhat analogous to the principles behind theoretical megastructures like Dyson rings or Stanford Tori. At large enough scales, the rigid matter that typically makes up rocky planets can behave more like a fluid, which is a key factor in evaluating the mechanics of toroidal self-gravitating bodies. Various researchers have analyzed the stability of ring-shaped masses without central nuclei, finding that they can be stable under certain conditions but may be prone to specific types of instability depending on factors like their aspect ratio and the nature of any perturbations. The interior of a toroidal planet would likely be quite dynamic, with tectonic plates drifting inward and undergoing significant contraction. This could result in mountainous formations in the inner region of the torus, further amplified by the reduced gravitational effect in that area. One potential mechanism for the formation of a toroidal planet might be through a structure called a synestia, a loosely connected donut-shaped mass of vaporized rock that has been proposed as a possible intermediate stage in the formation of the Earth-Moon system. However, this remains highly speculative. While the existence of toroidal planets is an intriguing concept, the sheer improbability of their occurrence means it is extremely unlikely that any will ever be directly observed, even within the vast expanse of our cosmological horizon. In the state of Wisconsin, there are stories of a small town that supposedly disappeared in the 1990s. This town was called Doveland, and while no concrete evidence of its existence has been found, some people claim to have memories of it or even possess souvenirs like mugs and shirts bearing the town's name. Interestingly, when searching for Doveland online, search engines would sometimes suggest the term Doveland, Wisconsin, despite no actual results being returned. There are several theories surrounding the town's alleged existence and disappearance. Some believe it may have been a military town associated with a project in the 1960s that was destroyed after an incident. Others speculate that it could have been a town that dispersed due to a failing economy or was abandoned once a military operation ran its course. More skeptical theories suggest that Doveland may simply be a hoax, tall tale, or internet legend, with the lack of evidence explained as a mass delusion or urban myth. Some even propose that the souvenirs could be the result of bot-generated advertisements based on users' search histories. One particularly intriguing theory draws from the concept of a hyperstition, where an idea functions retrocausally to bring about its own reality. In this case, the story of Doveland, while initially fictional, could have retroactively granted the town a foothold in reality through the memories of real people who have come to believe in its existence. Rhabdomancy is a form of divination that involves the use of rods, wands, staffs, sticks, arrows, or similar objects. This practice has a long history and has been used for various purposes, such as determining the direction one should travel or finding answers to specific questions. One method of rhabdomancy involves setting a number of staffs upright and observing the direction in which they fall. This is believed to provide guidance or insight into the matter at hand. Rhabdomancy has also been associated with divination by arrows, a practice known as bellomancy, where the flight or landing position of an arrow is interpreted for divinatory purposes. In some traditions, rhabdomancy has been connected to the I Ching, a Chinese divination text that traditionally uses a bundle of yarrow stalks. However, the most well-known form of rhabdomancy is dowsing, particularly the use of a forked wooden stick to locate water, minerals, or other hidden materials. Rhabdomancy has been mentioned in various biblical passages, with some scholars and theologians interpreting certain verses as references to this practice. Despite its long history and cultural significance, rhabdomancy, like dowsing, is not supported by scientific evidence. Controlled studies have consistently shown that the effectiveness of these practices is no greater than what would be expected by chance or guesswork. A recent study suggests that the 15th century Romanian governor, who inspired the iconic vampire novel Dracula, may have suffered from a rare condition called hemolacria, which causes a person to shed tears mixed with blood. Researchers came to this conclusion after analyzing proteins and peptides extracted from letters written by the historical figure using advanced scientific techniques. The governor, known as Vlad the Impaler due to his alleged cruelty, has long been associated with the vampire mythology popularized by the novel. While the connection between the real-life figure and the fictional character is debated, the study sheds new light on the health and living conditions of the time. By examining the ancient proteins found on the letters, researchers discovered evidence that the governor likely suffered from inflammatory processes affecting his respiratory tract and skin. Additionally, the presence of certain peptides and proteins suggests that he may have indeed experienced bloody tears, a symptom of hemolacria. Hemolacria is an extremely rare condition that can be caused by various factors, including infections, lesions, and tumors in the eye or surrounding areas. The study provides a fascinating glimpse into the medical history of a notorious historical figure and demonstrates the power of modern scientific techniques to uncover secrets from the past. While the study focuses on the proteins related to the governor himself, the researchers acknowledge that other individuals from the medieval period may have also handled the documents. Nonetheless, they believe that the most prominent ancient proteins should be those of the governor, who personally wrote and signed the letters. In the vibrant historic center of Naples, Italy, a church holds a fascinating secret. It may be the final resting place of the legendary Count Dracula. The monumental complex of Santa Maria la Nova, a beautiful church with a rich history dating back to the 13th century, has become the focus of intense research and speculation surrounding the tomb of the infamous Vlad III, also known as Dracula. Researchers have been drawn to the strange symbolism found on a 15th century tomb in the church's minor cloister. The tomb, originally attributed to the Farillo family, features intriguing esoteric and alchemical symbols that seem to point towards the mysterious figure of Count Dracula. Encrypted codes and inscriptions on the walls surrounding the tomb have further fueled the intrigue, as they remain undeciphered to this day. One theory suggests that Dracula's daughter, Maria Balsa, an aristocrat who found refuge in the Kingdom of Naples, may have brought her father's remains to the city for burial. The presence of a gigantic knight's helmet adorned with a dragon's head, along with opposing sphinxes on the tomb, has led some to believe that it belongs to a member of the Order of the Dragon, an order to which Dracula's father belonged. Further connections to Dracula's homeland can be found in the coat of arms depicted on the tomb, which features two paired dolphins, a symbol associated with a region of Romania once governed by Vlad Tepes. In the world of gardening, there's a popular flower known as the snapdragon or dragonflower. Its unique appearance has captured the imaginations of people for generations. When the flower is in bloom, it resembles the head of a dragon, and if you squeeze it gently, the mouth will open and close, as if the dragon is talking. But it's what happens after the flower dies that takes a turn for the macabre. Once the petals fall away, the seed pod that's left behind looks eerily like a miniature skull. This spooky appearance has led to all sorts of myths and superstitions surrounding the plant. In ancient times, people believed that snapdragons held supernatural powers. Planting them in your garden was thought to offer protection against curses, witchcraft, and deceit. Some even believed that eating the flowers could restore youth and beauty to women. The Victorians associated snapdragons with deception and presumption in their famous language of flowers. However, they could also symbolize gratitude if sent from one lady to another, perhaps as a coded thank you for a mystical anti-aging potion. Under the scrutiny of an electron microscope, the snapdragon seed pod takes on an even more otherworldly appearance, its skull-like features becoming all the more pronounced. In today's rational world, most people don't put much stock in tales of witchcraft and sorcery. But when confronted with a handful of snapdragon seed pods, each one resembling a miniature dragon's skull, even the most skeptical among us might find ourselves wondering, if only for a moment, whether there might be some truth to those old legends after all. Some companies have started experimenting with a controversial new marketing tactic called dream advertising, which involves attempting to place images of their products, along with positive associations, into people's dreams. This practice, also known as dream hacking or dream incubation, has raised concerns among researchers and the general public. One recent example involved a beverage company explicitly aiming to implant visions of their beer, along with refreshing imagery, into people's minds the night before a major sporting event. They even enlisted a celebrity to sleep on a live streaming platform while supposedly dreaming about the product. While the concept may seem far-fetched, dream incubation is not a new idea. Ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians and Greeks, used similar techniques for healing and spiritual purposes. Today, some therapeutic practices still incorporate elements of dream incubation. However, the use of these techniques for advertising purposes has drawn criticism from scientists who argue that it is highly intrusive and could have real-world consequences. Studies have shown that ideas introduced during sleep can significantly influence a person's thoughts and actions, raising concerns about the potential misuse of this power. On the other hand, research has also demonstrated that dream incubation can have positive applications, such as enhancing creativity, treating mental health conditions, and overcoming addiction. As technology advances, it may become easier for marketers to target specific stages of sleep and plant ideas in the form of dreams, leading to a future where even our sleeping minds are not safe from advertising. The Dropa Stones are a set of alleged artifacts that have been the subject of much intrigue and speculation in the world of pseudo-archaeology. According to the earliest known version of the story, which appeared in a German magazine in the 1960s, an archaeological expedition in the mountains of China discovered hundreds of granite discs with tiny hieroglyph-like markings. These discs were supposedly dated to around 12,000 years ago. The story goes on to claim that the expedition also found star maps and remains of beings with unusually thin bodies and large heads. After decades of study, Chinese researchers allegedly translated the markings on the discs and concluded that they were carved by extraterrestrials who had crashed in the region. Over time, additional details were added to the tale, such as the discs being shipped to the Soviet Union for further study, and an Austrian engineer claiming to have seen and photographed two of the stones in a Chinese museum. However, despite the intriguing nature of the story, there is no credible evidence to support the existence of the Dropa Stones or the people and events surrounding their alleged discovery. Extensive inquiries have failed to uncover any records of the stones being displayed in museums or of the individuals supposedly involved in their discovery and translation. Some have suggested that the photos purportedly showing the Dropa Stones actually depict a type of ancient Chinese jade disc known as a bi, which are often decorated with parallel grooves and other markings. Many researchers and skeptics consider the entire Dropa Stone story to be a hoax or a work of fiction that has been mistaken for fact over time. In the early 16th century, Spanish explorers encountered a unique tribe living near the Chicora people in what is now South Carolina and Georgia. This tribe, known as the Duhare, were strikingly different from other native groups in the area. They were described as being Caucasian in appearance, with red or brown hair that reached their heels, freckles, gray eyes, and notably taller stature. Most of the men sported mustaches, and their leaders even wore beards. What set the Duhare apart was their way of life. They practiced a form of animal husbandry, herding domesticated deer using dogs in a manner similar to European cattle herding. The deer were milked, and the Duhare even made cheese from the milk. Excess male deer were fattened with corn for slaughter, and the animals were kept in corrals at night but allowed to roam during the day under the watch of herders. The Duhare were also skilled farmers, raising various fowl and growing substantial crops of corn, grains, potatoes, and other vegetables. They possessed some metal tools and were governed by a chief of immense size who was carried on the shoulders of strong young men and lived in a stone palace with his equally large wife. Some researchers have suggested that the Duhare may have been of Irish origin, citing their physical appearance and certain cultural practices. For example, several Gaelic tribes in Ireland and Scotland were known to have domesticated dairy deer before the introduction of dairy cows. The name Duhare itself can be translated from Gaelic to mean either place of the clan Hare or place of the Irish. However, this theory remains controversial, with some scholars and historians vehemently disagreeing. Attempts to link the Duhare to Irish explorers who may have reached North America before Columbus have been met with skepticism and criticism. Regardless of their origins, the Duhare remain an intriguing and enigmatic part of the early history of the Americas, offering a glimpse into a unique culture that differed markedly from other native tribes encountered by European explorers. In the rugged mountains of northern New Mexico, a conspiracy theory has taken root, claiming the existence of a secret underground facility known as Dulce Base. This alleged base, said to be located under Archuleta Mesa near the town of Dulce, is purportedly a joint operation between humans and extraterrestrial beings. The origins of the Dulce Base legend can be traced back to a local businessman who became convinced that he was intercepting electronic communications from alien spacecraft and installations in the area. As the story spread within the UFO community, it gained traction, with some claiming to have independent confirmation of the base's existence. The legend of Dulce Base has been fueled by various accounts of strange occurrences in the area, with residents reporting sightings of UFOs, mysterious moving lights, and other unexplained phenomena. Some have even claimed that the base is the site of bizarre genetic experiments conducted by malevolent extraterrestrial entities on human subjects. While the presence of Cold War-era underground missile installations in the region has lent a degree of superficial plausibility to the rumors, the more outlandish aspects of the Dulce Base legend, such as alleged firefights between aliens and special forces, place it firmly in the realm of the extraordinary. The town of Dulce itself has embraced the legend to some extent, with local officials seeing it as a potential draw for tourism. The community has even hosted conferences dedicated to the alleged base and its associated UFO activity. Parallels have been drawn between the Dulce Base legend and the Shaver Mystery, a series of stories published in pulp science fiction magazines in the 1940s that told of sinister subterranean beings piloting disc-shaped spacecraft. Some have characterized the tales of alien experimentation at Dulce Base as a modern incarnation of this enduring cultural mythology. In the winter of 1959, a group of experienced hikers from the Soviet Union set out on a challenging trek through the northern Ural Mountains. Led by a seasoned ski instructor, the group aimed to reach a remote mountain peak. However, something went terribly wrong during their journey, and all 9 members of the expedition perished under mysterious circumstances. The hikers' bodies were discovered weeks later, scattered around their campsite on the slopes of a mountain known as Kholat Syakhl. Investigators were baffled by what they found. The group's tent had been cut open from the inside, and the hikers had fled into the freezing wilderness, some of them barefoot and wearing only underwear. Autopsies revealed that 6 of the hikers had died from hypothermia, while the remaining 3 had suffered traumatic injuries, including fractured skulls and severe chest wounds. Strangely, the bodies showed no signs of struggle or external injuries that would indicate an attack by another person or animal. The unusual circumstances surrounding the hikers' deaths have sparked numerous theories and speculations over the years. Some have suggested that the group fell victim to an avalanche, while others have proposed more outlandish explanations involving military experiments, infrasound-induced panic, or even an encounter with extraterrestrial beings. One of the most intriguing aspects of the case is the presence of high levels of radiation on some of the hikers' clothing. This discovery, along with reports of strange orange spheres in the night sky around the time of the incident, has fueled conspiracy theories about secret government tests or a possible cover-up. Despite extensive investigations and numerous attempts to explain the tragedy, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century. The remote location where the hikers met their fate has since been named Dyatlov Pass in their memory, and their story continues to captivate people around the world, serving as a chilling reminder of the untamed wilderness and the unknown forces that may lurk within it. Across the internet, a mysterious bot has been posting spam on numerous forum sites, creating a trail of fake diploma advertisements and other dubious content. What sets this particular spammer apart is its uncanny ability to bypass CAPTCHAs and other forms of verification that typically prevent automated posting. The bot's posts often revolve around the sale of fake diplomas, with many of the messages written in Korean. This focus on counterfeit credentials may be linked to the immense pressure to attend prestigious universities in South Korea, where fake diplomas have become a lucrative form of crime. On some sites, the bot creates fake user profiles at an astonishing rate, making it difficult for human administrators to keep up with the onslaught of spam. The usernames generated by the bot often follow a pattern, incorporating variations of a seemingly random string of characters. In addition to diploma-related posts, the bot has been observed promoting escort services, casinos, and other questionable businesses. This suggests that the individual or organization behind the bot may be involved in a wide range of illegal or unethical activities. A Dyson Sphere is a theoretical structure that could encircle a star to capture its energy. This idea originated from a science fiction novel in the 1930s and was further developed by physicist Freeman Dyson in the 1960s. The concept suggests that advanced civilizations could harness the energy of stars by building structures around them. Instead of a solid shell, Dyson envisioned a swarm of objects orbiting independently, known as a Dyson swarm. Detecting these structures around stars could indicate the presence of extraterrestrial life. While Dyson spheres are theoretically possible, building one around our sun is currently beyond our technological capabilities. However, scientists continue to explore this concept as a potential solution for meeting the energy needs of advanced civilizations in the future. In the early days of rail travel, people held some rather peculiar beliefs about the potential hazards of locomotive transportation. One particularly strange notion was that women's bodies were simply not built to withstand the high speeds of train travel, with some even speculating that their uteruses might literally fly out of their bodies as the train accelerated. This kind of extreme reaction to new technology is not uncommon throughout history. Whenever a significant technological advance emerges that alters our relationships with time, space, or each other, society often experiences a moral panic. These panics tend to focus disproportionately on the perceived threats to women and children. Similar fears arose with the advent of the automobile. Many saw these noisy, unpredictable devil wagons as too much for women to handle, believing that their supposed propensity for fainting, physical weakness, and sudden bouts of hysteria made them unfit to drive. Despite these misgivings, women fought for their right to mobility. A young woman proved the skeptics wrong in the early 1900s by successfully driving cross-country with 3 female companions, demonstrating that women were perfectly capable of handling an automobile. As time has passed, many of the fears surrounding new technologies have proven to be unfounded. The telephone, once thought to cause impropriety, possession, or electrocution in women, has become a mundane part of everyday life. While concerns about the impact of new technologies on society persist, history suggests that we often overestimate the dangers and underestimate our ability to adapt. Astrobiologists propose an intriguing idea. Planets could possess intelligence. This concept suggests that the collective activity of life on a planet, like Earth, could be considered a form of intelligence. Planetary intelligence, in this context, refers to the cognitive activity and knowledge operating on a large planetary scale. It goes beyond thinking of intelligence solely in terms of sentient beings and considers the cumulative effects of all life forms, including microbes and plants. For example, underground fungal networks in forests respond to changing climate conditions, significantly impacting the planet. This concept challenges us to see the planet as having a green mind and prompts us to consider the collective intelligence of life forms working together for the planet's survival. However, it's noted that Earth may not yet exhibit true planetary intelligence as technological activity hasn't fully integrated with the environment. Achieving planetary intelligence would involve aligning biological and technological processes for the planet's benefit. This idea challenges our understanding of intelligence and encourages us to view physical nature as potentially intelligent beings. It offers new perspectives on addressing global challenges and working together for the planet's well-being. Mysterious luminous phenomena known as earthquake lights have been reported in the sky near areas of tectonic stress, seismic activity, or volcanic eruptions for centuries. These lights, which differ from disruptions to electrical grids caused by ground shaking or hazardous weather, have been described in various historical accounts, with one of the earliest records dating back to an earthquake in Japan in the 9th century. Earthquake lights are reported to appear before, during, or after earthquakes, with shapes similar to auroras and a white to bluish hue, although a wider color spectrum has also been observed. The luminosity can last for several seconds to tens of minutes and has been visible at distances of up to hundreds of kilometers from the epicenter. Recent appearances of earthquake lights, accompanied by video footage, have been reported in various locations worldwide, such as California, New Zealand, Mexico, and China. These lights seem to occur more often during high-magnitude earthquakes, generally those measuring 5 or higher on the Richter scale. While research into the causes of earthquake lights is ongoing, several theories have been proposed. One model suggests that the high stress before and during an earthquake can break peroxy bonds in certain types of rocks, ionizing oxygen atoms that travel through rock cracks and ionize air pockets, forming light-emitting plasma. Other hypotheses involve piezoelectric effects in quartz-containing rocks or local disruptions of the Earth's magnetic field and ionosphere. Despite these theories, there is no broad consensus on the exact mechanisms behind earthquake lights, and some skeptics question whether the phenomenon truly exists, citing a lack of direct evidence and the inconsistency of reported observations. Nonetheless, the study of these mysterious lights continues, with researchers hoping to gain insights that could potentially aid in earthquake prediction. The notion that certain weather conditions can precede or predict earthquakes, often referred to as earthquake weather, has been a topic of discussion and debate since ancient times. This belief, which is considered one of the most common pseudoscientific methods of predicting earthquakes, has taken various forms throughout history. In ancient Greece, it was thought that earthquakes were caused by winds trapped in caves, with small tremors being attributed to air pushing on cavern roofs and large ones to the air breaking the surface. This led to the belief that hot and calm weather indicated a large amount of trapped underground air, signaling an impending earthquake. Later theories suggested that earthquakes occurred in calm, cloudy conditions, preceded by strong winds, fireballs, and meteors. Some modern proponents claim that certain cloud formations, sometimes called earthquake clouds, can be used to predict seismic activity, although this idea is largely rejected by the geological community. While some recent research has found correlations between sudden spikes in atmospheric temperature, these changes do not result in a single recognizable weather pattern that could be labeled earthquake weather. The concept may persist in part due to psychological factors, such as heightened sensitivity and memory retention during unusual weather conditions.